Good morning. Just wanted to make a little video, taking a little stroll through my garden. For my friends that are interested and for myself to look back on. So here we have, on the outside, I've got queen lime zinnias, I'll show you in a minute, and a couple of mammoth sunflowers. And then over here, climbing up this arched trellis, are two Armenian white cucumbers. They're actually a melon, however, they taste and are used just like cucumbers. And then over here, I have two Jenny Lind melons, and they are like a small variety of cantaloupe. Putting my tea down. But here I've got some that are really starting to get kind of big, so that's exciting. They are delicious. They won't get a whole lot bigger than this. They're a very small variety of cantaloupe, and when I grew them last year, the inside, so you know how a cantaloupe is like orange, but right underneath the rind it's bright green? It was reversed. The flesh was bright green, but right under the rind was that like cantaloupe orange color. It was so far out and delicious, like way better than a regular cantaloupe. So let's look at the tomatoes. So my tomatoes got super sick this year, just covered in fungal infections, and so I have trimmed a whole bunch of them back. So they look pretty bare right now, because they are. But I have this set up, so I've got three of a kind here. So the first three, 1, 2, 3 tomato plants are Napa Chardonnay cherry, and I've got some that are turning. I had some that were turned even more. Oh darn, it's looking bad. But they got eaten by me. So here's one. It's not quite ready, but it'll taste good. I kind of like them when they're just slightly underripe because they're sweet and a little bit tart, and that's my favorite. So good. And then down here, the next three, 1, 2, 3, these are Brad's Atomic Grape Tomatoes. And so immature, they're these like really cool stripy, and then they start to get purple. They are full of anthocyanins. That's what turns them purple. But when they start to mature, they will start to turn yellow and orange and red as well. And so they're really like cosmic looking, and they're really cool. And they taste good too. They've got an interesting flavor. So I've got 3 of those. And then down here, these are purple Russian paste tomatoes. And they're getting crazy tall, which this is the first time I've ever grown them. And if I would have known better, I actually would have put 4 here instead of 3, because they're very thin. They don't really bush out a whole lot. But they do get tall, so I'm going to let it go. Hopefully the weight of the fruit doesn't break them. And then here I have 2 Kajari melons that I started way after these 2 over here. Aww, got bees in there. Sweet. But we've got some, where are they? Some fruits hanging in there. There's a couple that I saw the other day. There's one for sure. But there's more hiding. And so down here, I've got 1, 2, 3. The first 3 are Paul Robeson, which they're just like your stereotypical tomato. Like when you think tomato, when you think cartoon tomato, Paul Robeson. And then the next three, 1, 2, 3, are Kellogg's Breakfast, which I have one starting to blush. It's really exciting. They are a big beefsteak, but they stay like yellowish orange, and they're pretty sweet. I'm excited for those. Those will be delicious. And then down here, the last three are Cherokee Purple, which this is the first time I've ever grown them as well, and they are not getting very tall at all. I'm wondering if they are determinate. I have no idea. I need to look into that. But I don't have anything starting to turn there, which is kind of a bummer, but it'll be all right. And so down here I have a couple more melons. This is 2 plants on one side, 1 plant on one side. And this is a little French, I can never remember, it's a French word. Charentais, I guess is how you would say that en français. But they are just a little, I've got one. I'll go over on the other side so you can see it. A little French table melon. All the melons I'm growing this year are small varieties. These are some queen lime zinnias. Here. Looky there. So it won't get much bigger than that. It is just maturing right now. But I'm really excited. I've heard really good reviews on these. And so over here, I have another mammoth sunflower. And then this big boy is a, what is it? A Mongolian giant sunflower. It'll get way bigger. And then up here, I've got some dragon tongue bush beans. And these also have a lot of anthocyanins. The more sun they get, the more purple streaking they get. And they cook up just like a regular green bean. They turn green when they get cooked. But they sure are pretty in the garden. And they're good to eat raw. I eat them raw all the time. Oh my gosh! I was just out here this morning and this wasn't happening. Look at that. My little sunflower. These are teddy bear sunflowers. They only get about 3 feet tall, but they put off a bunch of heads. And then the middle is like really fluffy looking. They're gonna be so cool when they open. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And then I've got okra right here. I can't remember what variety I planted though. Let's see if I can find my tag. That's a no. Dang. I want to say Texas Hill Country. There it is. Ugh. Digging. Oh my gosh. Oh, Clemson Spineless. Way off. But probably a better okra. But something exciting happened. Oh my god, look at the flowers on these things. They are so flippin' gorgeous. I get so geeked. Is that not the prettiest thing? I don't know if you can tell, but it's like yellow with burgundy in the middle. Holy smokes. So cool. And then like over here, there's one. Oh, so many tree stars. And over here. So they don't stay open for very long. I swear, as soon as they get pollinated, they shut right back up and they make you an okra. So like, I'll show you one. Right here. Oh, there's another. This has not opened yet. It will open in a couple of days. And this was opened 2 days ago, and this is 2 days old. Typically, there's another one right there. You see it? Little baby okra. I'll probably pick these tomorrow. They mature really fast, but since the plants are young, they're going kind of slow. Typically, with okra, if it's this small in the morning, it'll be ready to harvest at this big by the afternoon. You really got to keep your eyes on them. And so down here, and then underneath these okra, I had planted, just directly sown, some peppers that are really going slow, probably because they're so shaded. I'll show you this one. This one is a jigsaw pepper, which I think is wildly beautiful. It's a tricolor. It's got purple, green, and white in the variegation, and the peppers will be like all kinds of colors. I believe they mature to red. I think all peppers, when they're fully matured, will be red. But you can harvest them at any stage of their development and use them. However, they will be at their peak spiciness and flavor when they're fully ripe. So I've got three of these, and then the next 3 are corbaci, also a spicy pepper. And then the next 3 are Sugar Rush Peach Jalapenos, and so they're not very spicy, and they actually have like some fruity sweetness to them as well. And then I just have one little sweet basil plant. It's doing pretty well. Everything here I have grown from seed myself, except my herbs. For some reason, I just can't do them. So I bought this from Rural King. My dahlias have suffered big time. My chickens kept coming over here and scratching the tubers up, and so they're looking really raggedy. And that's why the chickens are in the coop, because they're bad chickens and they ruin my flowers. But here I also have another Mongolian giant sunflower. Couldn't tell you how big that one is. It's just now starting to get ahead at the top. I'm so excited to see that. And then I've got a little thyme plant that I got from Rural King. These dahlias, my sweetie got me the tubers for my birthday this year. He did good. I wish my chickens didn't tear up their tubers when they were here. And then here I've got, this is, I think this is a little gray summer squash. It's like a little gray zucchini. And I put those little stakes around on either side when it was just like that plant size. I'm out of stakes, but once I get some more, I will put 2 on either side of that. And then the vine will kind of go straight up, and so it's not sprawling out all over the ground. And it just helps keep the plant kind of dry, and it helps you keep an eye on the plant, so if squash bugs come in, you get a heads up sooner. So I'm giving this a try. This is the first time doing it this way. I figured it's easy enough. No big win or loss either way, with or without them, so why not? No squash yet. I was really late to the game planting those. I planted 3 all at the same time, and my chickens dug up 2, and so I replanted, and this one did okay, and this one lost again. So I'll probably see how big these 2 get, and maybe I'll plant another one, maybe I won't, or maybe I'll do more beans. Probably don't need more beans. The deer have started coming up to visit, and these are my royal burgundy beans, and the deer keep coming up to visit and ruining them. I've planted these several times over here, and the little stinkers keep nibbling on them. Boo. This is my variegated sage, which I think is gorgeous. I got this as a young plant off of Etsy. I can't remember the store's name. If anybody is really interested, I can look it up and let you know. And then I've got 3 little Calypso bush beans. This one's a little further along than the other 2, and its little flowers are sweet and cute and pretty, making little bean pods. I think typically these are grown to be shelling beans, but I keep picking them and eating them young, and they just taste like green beans when they're little like this. Yep, they're good. They're not as sweet as the dragon tongue, but they're good. And then I've got 3 or 4 more little teddy bear sunflowers. And over here I have more queen lime zinnias. Aren't those cool? They are so wild and pretty. I'm so excited about them. Make my heart go pitter patter. A little rosemary. And then 2 more mammoth sunflowers. And I'll show you over here. I was so excited about pole beans. I have never grown pole beans before. And I was like, this is my year. This is my year for pole beans. And so I did this whole row down here on this side. The left side, tomatoes. The right side, pole beans. And the one that I was most excited for is a scarlet runner bean. And I'll be dipped. I have planted scarlet runner beans right here in this vacancy at least a minimum of 4 times. And I have only gotten 1 solid plant and another one just getting started. So I'm guessing my seeds were bad, which is a major bummer. And then down here, I have some succotash beans. And then these little ones are a little Japanese winged bean. Oh, sorry. Okay, succotash. I can't remember what the name is. But they make big bean pods that get really frilly around the edges. And then this, I don't remember what these are either. Come here. Tag. Let's see. Oh, these are the Japanese. Yurizun Japanese winged bean. And these, I seem to have lost the tag for. There is one, I just saw one when I was tending to my squish. Here. Oh, what was that? Fort Portal Jade. Yeah, those would be cool. They create like the beans look like little jade beads. They look really lovely. And that's really why I wanted to grow them, just because they looked pretty. I have no idea what they taste like or how to use them. We'll find out. 2 kajaris. The purple stuff is amaranth. And I've just been using it to put in vases inside for pretties. These are Painted Lady pole beans. And then I have darn, I can't remember. Ooh, oh look, they're finally starting to make buds. That's a new development. Those will be pretty. Yeah, Painted Ladies, and then looky here. Pretty little flowers. And what are you? Oh, I have so many, too many things. Sunset runner beans, yeah. And then these, look at these lovelies. These are black coat runner beans. They're really similar to the scarlet runner beans, and so I'm glad that I planted both. But these sure are lovely. And they pop big time. I'm really excited about them. And then I did a whole bunch. Oh, look at those. So stinking pretty. And then these down here are doing really well. And these are rattlesnake pole beans. The beans look just like the dragon tongue bush beans, but these are a pole variety. So look at these little flowers. Oh, them are so pretty. Me likey. And then on this side of this arch, I had trebles. This is what I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow this along the whole thing. This is Malabar spinach. It's not a true spinach. It is, I don't remember what it is, but it's climbing. It'll climb up this and it'll create little red berries that we don't know. All of the information I've read about Malabar spinach berries is conflicting. Some people say you can eat them. Some people say you should not eat them. I don't know. But this does taste just like spinach, but it's crunchier. I very much like it. Yum. I can't wait for that to get bigger so I can eat more of it. But it's really, really hard to germinate. The seeds are like little BBs, and they have a really hard coat on them. And so it's best to let them soak for at least 24 hours before you plant them, and then make sure you water it really well, or else they won't germinate. And I got 3, and I had this thing whole planted, this whole trellis planted with it 3 times, and I have 3 measly little plants that aren't doing excellent, but they're getting started, and I think they'll take off. But it's a really good green option for the summer. It does excellently in the heat, so I'm really excited to see how it does here. And I'm sure it would have done a lot better if I would have gotten it started sooner, had I not had all the trouble that I have had. I'm sorry this isn't focusing very well. But then over here I have another little French melon. This one is called Noir de Carmes, I'm not sure. But that was something that one day when I was purchasing seeds online, Nora said, "Hey, I want that." And I was like, "You got it." If she wants to show me any kind of interest in this garden whatsoever, I will buy her whatever she wants. So that is hers. That's Nora's little melon. And then over here, this side of the garden is not as well tended, but this is going to be my ground cherry patch. Lots of ground cherries. They're all pineapple ground cherries. Last year I had 1 plant, and that was nowhere near enough. So this year I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6. We'll see if that's enough. And then this weedy side of the garden is where I have planted a bunch of summer squash. I did some at the far end a week or 2 ago, and then I did these just a couple of days ago. So if you saw me on Facebook begging for tin cans, this is why. I like to put the tin cans in the ground, plant my seeds, and then mulch around it. So I had been weeding, and I threw my weeds down, and then I get the mulch, and then I mulch around the cans. And then once the plants are big enough, then I just take the cans out and I move the mulch closer to the stems of the plants. So these are, what did I do? Okay, every other one. So, okay, 1, 3, and 5 are all gray zucchinis, and then the 2 in the gaps are Black Beauty, just the stereotypical zucchini that you can buy at the store. Here's the amaranth from this side, getting all big and glorious. Look at you go. However, I'm thinking about taking it out because it's really casting a lot of shade on things that I don't want to be shaded. And so over here, I have, these are all the same. And they are, don't need you, Caserta squash. I think I got these in a seed swap, so I have no idea what they will be like. I know that they are a summer squash, but I don't know what it's going to be like. Here's the Jenny Lind from the other side, starting to trail out. I need to train it back up the trellis. And then I've got another little mammoth sunflower over here. And I did throw down a bunch of, oh, looky here. I think this might be one. Right here. A little Tulsi basil. Holy basil is what they call it. And so like these back here are little holy basil starts. My little holy basil babies. If they grow and get established, this will be the first time I have ever grown an herb from seed. Ooh, no, that's not true. Last year I grew dill. But I mean, it's practically a weed. It's pretty easy to do. And I did do cilantro over the winter. So, but I didn't use it. I will use this. Please grow. Please grow. Ooh, come here, you. All right. Now, feed your friend. There. Okay. So, that's my garden. I do have stuff over on the other side, too. Like, there's my borage plant. I've got a couple. I just went ahead and did more Jenny Linds here because I know I like them and I love them. And then over here, it's my little memorial area. So these are just flowers. I've got 3 little dahlias. And then I have nasturtiums coming up. They are climbing nasturtiums. However, this may not be a good place for them because I don't think that they like full sun all the time. But I didn't have anything climbing that I wanted to put there. I've got morning glories, but you know how that goes. And so then these are just tomatoes that I got in super late because, you know, 2020. But these first 6 are all cherry varieties. These are, I'm going to pick, you get to watch my choosing process. You don't get to stay, and you don't get to stay. So 2 Benicodima. That's what these are. They're a little micro watermelon that'll grow up just like the little mini melons over there. But the melons are slightly larger than softball size. And then that's Nora's stick. It's a rifle and it's a lot of things. So we can't lose that. And then we've got, what are these? Ooh, Armana orange, terracotta, tomatoes. I've got 3 of those, and weeds. And then I have this little booger. Where is it? There. And then this one. Focus. And then this one right here are all peaches and cream. They are variegated. They're crossed with a potato, and they produce variegated foliage, like so, which is quite lovely. The plants themselves, just for the novelty of the loveliness, is worth it to me to have them in the garden this year. But they will produce a little salad-sized tomato that is also variegated, so I'm excited to see what that looks like. And then these last 3 have taken longer to, oh, Abe Lincoln tomato. They're a lot like the Paul Robeson over there. But I have not been tending to this side of the garden like I have been the other one. Life this year, it's done me wrong, and so well at the same time. Over here, I had started on this trellis. These are cuckoozy gourds. However, they're technically a gourd, but if you harvest them young, you can use them like a summer squash, but they get really, really long. They have a really long neck, and the plants themselves. So I will pare this down to one. One of these little plants will get to stay, and this whole trellis will be cuckoozy. Unfortunately, this is real life. This side of the garden is feral at the moment. It's probably going to stay this way for the duration of the season because I just ain't got the time. Hopefully next year I'll be able to get everything done like I wanted to this year, but we shall see. These are my bachelor buttons. I highly recommend you all get some of these in your garden. They are petering out, unfortunately, but they are so lovely. And the bees just love them. So I've been collecting seeds, as you can tell. There are lots and lots and lots of them. If anybody wants some bachelor buttons, you know where to find them. Ooh, lovely. They're so pretty. So I guess this is it. That's all I got to show you. In the middle, oh, the swimming pools was a great idea that has also been neglected. This is spearmint. This whole thing is spearmint. In the middle, we've got strawberries that have been overtaken by weeds. And on the far end is weeds. That's it. However, I did buy a variegated peppermint plant that I'm going to put in there one of these days. Hopefully, if I do another one of these videos, you will see the weeds are gone and the peppermint is planted. Cross your fingers, folks. Cross your fingers. I guess that's it. If anybody has any questions, hit me up. If this is annoying, let me know, or don't. Have a good day, y'all.